Welcome back to another Tuesday of Share Motivation Podcast. Before we go any further, minimize this screen. Go over to YouTube, type in Share Motivation Podcast, hit the follow button, share with a friend. And if you don't have time to watch the whole thing and you want to just hear the audio, head on over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where you can listen while you drive, work out, whatever the thing is, whatever your thing is. All right. So this week, we're just going to take the time to have a pop of perspective and just touch on a few Q&A questions. So with that being said, Tina, I'll let you start it off.
Ooh, okay. So my question would be, how much should you spend on a first date, dating ideas, and dating do's and don'ts? So this is a dating question.
Okay, this is a dating question. So how much should you spend on a first date? So typically, I don't pay for the first date. I believe there has been a time where I have covered a cost associated with a date. But I would say, generally speaking, if I was giving advice to like one of my homeboys or a close friend of mine that was male, I feel like because the male should cover the first date at least. And I had to pick a dollar amount. I think about $130 is a good amount for a first date. I think that can cover possibly like an entry to a museum or a movie or dinner. I really feel like the first date should be something physical, something where y'all can talk. I don't really feel like a movie is a good first date.
Because you got to be quiet somewhere.
Right. So I feel like putt-putt golf, maybe bowling, shooting pool, something like that. If she's into museums. I feel like the couple of weeks you guys spend talking and texting, you should, as a man, wrap your mind around what interests this lady and plan a date around it. So I think if I had to pick a dollar amount, I would start at about $130. I would pick a date that involved conversations that we recently had and plan our date around that. So what do you think?
I can agree with that. Definitely no less than $100, because a nice restaurant, essentially one person to eat is about $40 or $50. Adding, a cocktail, an appetizer, I think that's a fair amount. And I agree with Delina. Definitely make sure it's not an environment that you have to be quiet in so that you can actually have a conversation. And then involve some nature, involve some natural lighting and some fresh air, so that you're not so tense and restrictive in things. I'm saying? Outdoor spaces, they allow you to, move around, be comfortable, let a little bit of personality shine through.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's good for the first date. I think, outdoors is cool. Nice little, walk on the beach after, you guys do something fun. So I think that, what are your dating do's and don'ts? What's like your top dating don't?
So a dating don't definitely would be having me drive to you and picking you up. Like if I had to be the mode of transportation, I would feel a little way about that. Maybe if you said meet me at the restaurant, I would think that you were doing it to safeguard me, because it is a dangerous world that we live in. So I would think if you would say, well, hey, meet me at Cheesecake Factory or somewhere like that. Then I would say, okay, well, he knows that, he doesn't want to make this weird for me. Right. But if you say, hey, come to such and such, scoop me up.
Not hit you with the scoop.
Yeah. scoop me up and let's go. Then I would feel, but I would definitely, now if you came to pick me up, I definitely would feel like, okay, now we going somewhere. He's taking the lead on things. He planned a date. He's the mode of transportation.
Will you let him pick you up on the first date? Okay.
Yeah, because it was conversations had previously that would allow me to feel safe and secure in allowing you. Now, would I allow you to come in? That's totally different. Okay. But, pull up. Hey, I'm outside. I walk out. You open the door. I get in. We pull off.
See, I think I've watched too many episodes of Forensic Files. Yeah.
Women, y'all be safe out there. You still have to protect yourselves.
Yeah, it's like you gotta be fully vested before
Right.
I gotta vet you all the way before you know where I live. I had a guy, no. He found my address without me giving it to him, and that was that was a don't. Please don't.
Yeah. But you gotta be careful what information you put out there. You know, a lot of information.
I mean, he found it on his own. I mean, he didn't know exactly, but he was like, "These are the top 2 places that I think you live," and I was like, "Well, definite red flag." We don't
Did
even
he follow you?
He didn't follow me. He said he had found my information. He had done some digging and had found where I lived.
That sounds a little sassy to me.
These men out here are very sassy. Sassy and nasty.
So now, and then what are some, you did talk about the putt-putt golf. You talked about, different.
Yeah, like a museum. It's all about figuring out what your person likes. So I feel like, during the time where nobody really likes to talk on the phone a lot, they like to do a lot of texting. So really the first date should be planned around the conversations you've had with that person. Like, okay, she said she liked the paint, so they got a trap and paint we could go check out. And then she did say she liked sushi, so maybe we could check out like a sushi spot or something like that. So I feel like the first date, second date, third date, whatever it is, if you make it to the third date, if you ain't blocked him by then. If he ain't blocked by then, you should be accumulating those conversations like, all right, let me plan this. Or if it's your turn to plan the date, you like, all right, boom, you know what I'm saying? He said he liked to shoot pool. So maybe we could go shoot pool and we could go to, he said he likes steak. So I'm taking, whatever, so I just
be creative. Be creative. Let it lead. Let it be organic. Let it be authentic. Think and keep the other person's likes in mind when you're planning these things. Don't make it so one-sided and selfish. Like, it's a place I ain't never been to. I want to go there before. Okay, well, you don't know how it's gonna be. So why would you take somebody that you've never to a space that you've never gone to?
Right. Because this is the thing, right? If we've been kicking it and talking over the phone the last 2-3 weeks, and we've been texting, and I'm feeling you, now's the time where I take you out on a date and find out if me being in your presence, it's like, is this a spark? Like, you know what I'm saying? Could this be a thing? I mean, without thinking about anything inappropriate, it's like, this is a time we're going to be in each other's presence, enjoying each other's company to see if there's a spark between us.
Right.
That should be the goal of your first and your second date. And that's just what I think. So that's about money, planning, all of that stuff. So to give you another proper perspective, we're going to move on, talk about something else.
Question number 2.
This one is sexual compatibility. How important is sex in your relationship? And how would you communicate to your spouse or your person that you're not being pleased sexually? Well, I guess I'll answer first.
Yeah.
Because, you was looking at me like you was just...
I'm like, go ahead. Let the people know.
You was sitting here. You was giving full-on Oprah right there.
I have no feedback on this.
So, she has no feedback. I don't care. You think I care? I don't care about these people. So, sexual compatibility, I think, is important. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to please your partner and vice versa. Because if not, then that will lead to a breakup that we talked about in, last week episode. So I think sexual compatibility is important. You have to communicate what your boundaries are with that person prior. So, some people are into strange things.
Oh, yeah.
Different things. Some people might be into bondage. Some people might be into group activities. Some people might like a little backdoor action, all types of things. So I think it's important to discuss your boundaries and what your expectations are prior to y'all ever even having sex. It's not a test and go type of thing, so that's number 1. So I do think it's important. And now as far as how would you communicate if you're not being pleased sexually. So I think it's stages to that and it's levels to that, right? So obviously we're all human. So when the act is going down,
the act,
I think it's ways you can let your partner know, I'm into this. Oh no, this ain't it.
right?
Okay.
Right.
So I think you should start there, you know, and then if that's not working, you know, after you may need to have a conversation, like, you know, that thing that you did,
I didn't like it.
I ain't like that. Don't do it again. You know, or, you know, maybe when it's going there, you pop that hand. Get out of there.
not third grade teacher.
Pop that hand. Get back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, I would have to say, I mean, that's what I think. So, what you gonna do?
So me, I'm gonna go ahead and let the viewers know once again. I am a Leo, and you know, our sexual appetite is high on the Richter. Is one way of saying that. So we have very, very high expectation when it comes to once it comes to,
We need sound effects right here.
once it comes to you know our bedroom experience. And you know, I do believe in pleasing my partner as well as being pleased. I believe in, you know, it being a whole, you know, a whole
escapade.
Yeah, a whole escapade. That's the exact word I was going to use. A whole escapade, like of events. You know what I mean? And so, but I do believe in communicating, you know, and that's the conversation that I had prior to what your needs are. What do you think is a healthy amount of times to, you know, per week? Or
So when you are in a space where you're gonna open up that can of worms, you want to be intimate with somebody, that's what you're doing. I mean, how often do you think that we should have sexual relations?
No, I just say, you know, what is your track record of, you know what I'm saying, are you a once
how long can you last?
No, are you a once a day or are you a once a week? Like, I need to find out, like, what we doing, you know, like, I mean, I'm definitely not a once a week type person, not with my man, but I need to know because I don't know. See, now this is what I'm saying, Delina, I don't know if you heard this story about Larsa Pippen and Scottie Pippen. And
yes.
And she was saying how many times that they, you know, did it. Like a day.
I heard something. Well, how many times? I heard something was outrageous.
Yeah. It's like 20 sometimes.
A day?
A day.
I hear yeast infection.
Well, I mean, that was her man.
Well, that's this sound like my yeast.
Right. So, but anyway, they were doing it some abnormally high amount of times. But once again, we're talking about husband and wife, and they were married a long time. So it worked for them until it didn't work no more. Until, you know, whatever happened, it didn't work. It did work.
That's way too much sex.
That is a whole lot. That's a lot of times.
That's a lot of
sex.
sex.
But we're talking about a man that makes a lot of money. So yeah.
Well. How can I please you, baby?
Right.
See, if I can't talk to you like that, I don't want you.
Yeah. So, but you know, you have to know what is that safe range. You know, what acts.
20 something times a day, though.
Yeah, it was something like that. Y'all Google it, because I could be, maybe it was 20 sometimes a week, but still 7 days in a week, 20 sometimes. That's an average of about 3 times a day.
Oh, well.
I mean, but I'm just saying, I don't know.
If I don't got to work outside the home.
It was an extremely high amount of time. So you'll have to check that. We'll have to fact check that and get that back to you. But nonetheless, Larsa Pippen stated that they had, you know, too many times. But, you know, now she's moved on with a much younger bull.
Is younger better?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Well.
Now, young and willing to learn is that's good.
Because you don't want a jackrabbit.
Yeah. That's something that you can work. That's something that you can work with. You know what I'm saying?
What, the jackrabbit or the young?
Yeah, no, the young and willing to learn.
Okay.
That's something that you can work with.
Okay.
That's a slow it down.
He has to take direction well.
Yeah, he has to take direction.
Be a good listener.
Yeah, but I'm not saying younger could mean, you know, stamina, but you know, these kids are into them drugs. They popping pills. They popping pills and smoking weed, and they're just doing a whole bunch of, you know, different
The weed
stuff.
slows them down.
So, but definitely, you know, a healthy sexual relationship is very important.
So in the beginning, you're trying to gauge. You'll talk to the person and kind of gauge like, okay, you know, what's your appetite like?
Yeah, what I need to do.
Okay.
How can I help you, sir?
Let me serve you.
Yeah, let me serve you. Yeah, so
Okay.
but yeah, I think that's important. Mm-hmm. And I won't say it like that. You know, I'm keeping it PG because we don't know who's up here. But yeah, so what is a healthy amount of times to, you know, have sex a day or a week or, you know.
Okay.
Now, another thing is, how do you feel about setting the mood? Because, you know, I am a woman of a particular age, as we love to say. And what I've seen in, you know, most recent times is that they're really not setting the mood for it. And it's really hard to... It's funny that I said it.
She got the sauce.
It's really, you know, it really gets us going when you set the mood, when you're actually thoughtful.
When the man is taking the time to set the whole ambiance. Okay.
With the music, with the atmosphere, you know, and there's nothing wrong. Even if you do live together, I feel like it's good to get a room every once in a while and set it
break
up.
up the monotony of the same scene. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, those are some good conversations because sometimes men don't think about stuff like that. So, what are y'all doing, men? Are y'all setting the scene? Are y'all just like, bang, bang, bang? No. What are y'all like? What are y'all doing? You know? But I do feel like if you talk about the things up front and you have the conversations up front, when you got nothing to lose, like, this is what I like. Every day, 5 times a day. I'm on my Larsa. What's her name? Larsa. I'm on my Larsa Pippen.
Yeah. So, I mean, like she said, up front, you got nothing to lose. You just meeting this person. Yeah. You know,
I need
you
it every day, 3 times a
day.
day.
Yeah.
Morning, soon I get off work, before I go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Can you supply?
Right.
That's your time to say no.
And when you're going into it with realistic expectations,
right?
You know, and don't agree to something that you don't agree to.
If you know you can't make it past 5 minutes,
take your vitamins.
Do the vitamins help?
do the inner work.
Do the inner work.
Yeah, to build up whatever it is you have. You know, whatever you need to do. And men, do not forget, I will say this because I have, you know, some age. I'm the age in the room.
She said she the age in the room.
Yeah, but if
she got the sauce.
If
I got the roux. She got the sauce.
If you're not able to maintain your stamina, go to your physician and have a conversation with your physician. Now, this is not to be funny. This is to be serious.
This is hilarious to me.
So, see, now this is where it becomes story time.
Oh, story time. Oh, gosh. Come on, let's go.
So, I met a guy, and he was older.
Okay.
Yeah, so older.
He was seasoned.
Yeah, seasoned.
With the crisp around the edges.
But he was in pristine shape.
Okay.
He worked out. His skin, his hair, he had really, really long hair. His skin and his hair, magnificent.
Okay.
And
can we have an age bracket for the listener? I'm hearing this with y'all, so can we have an age?
So yeah, probably 12 years older than me.
Okay. Nice and seasoned.
Yeah, so seasoned, but in great shape.
Okay.
And he only drank water, did not drink sodas,
okay.
Did not eat pork. He had a serious rest regimen. He wasn't on any medication. And that was his keys to his stamina.
Okay.
Was the fact that he exercised, so his blood was flowing. He stayed hydrated with the water, and he didn't eat pork. And I would always say, I would joke with him or whatever. He'd be like, "Yeah, them young boys, they don't eat pork." Like, and you know me, I eat pork.
I love me a good pork chop.
And make it fried, please, on some white bread. But nonetheless, those were the things that he said were the keys to his stamina. And I believe it to be so because he had stamina. And I'm just saying, but I did date a guy that was younger than him. And by this, I mean 5 years old, maybe 4 or 5 years older than me. And his stamina was in the garbage. And he ate pork, he drank liquor, he ain't exercised worth a dime, and he drank soda. So that older guys strategy must have had some truth to it. And he was on blood pressure medicine. And I was like, why are you on blood pressure medicine?
The one that was closer in age to you was on blood pressure medicine?
Mm-hmm. And he was not strong.
He wasn't.
And so, just for reference, when we use the word strong in this podcast, we really aren't talking about we aren't talking about muscles. So he was not strong, and the other guy was strong. So what I'll say is, if you're having problems with maintaining performance during sexual escapades, visit your physician and find out the regimen that works best for you, because it's no reason that you can withhold yourself.
So I don't know what's going on. I think it's the marijuana. I think
What, the guy that was closer in age to me, he didn't smoke marijuana?
that you know of.
No, he didn't. I mean, we were in a whole relationship. He didn't smoke marijuana.
Got nothing then.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I can say. He did not exercise. He drank sodas. He ate pork.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't have no rest regimen or none of that stuff. Like I said, you be good to your body be good to you.
Well, that's a word.
Mm-hmm.
Men, you gotta make sure longevity and being able to control yourself is a virtue. So, make sure you're spending time with the lady that you really want to be with, and make sure you did not come to play. Okay, because you don't want to leave her disappointed.
Right. Or we'll be talking about you on the podcast.
Yeah. You make an episode of the podcast, and pretty soon we're gonna have people on, and you might be in their story. So make sure you got it tight and locked and loaded.
Right.
Okay, let's do one more.
Ooh, one more.
Okay, so, okay. So, one more pop-up perspective. This is the last one. How important is looks when trying to find your mate? On a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy does your mate need to be? And how would you rate yourself on the attractive sexy scale? So let's start. That's a three-part question. So let's start with the first part. How important is looks when trying to find your mate? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is looks? Be honest.
It's important.
Okay.
But I look
You looking good, by the way. The hair is herring.
Thank you. But I'm looking at the whole entire man, like his posture, because that expels confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's a good one. Posture expels confidence.
Yeah. So his posture, his swag. But then also as I start to look, I'm looking at his hair. Make sure he's well groomed. His teeth looking like he's going to the dentist and doing those things. His fingernails, make sure they're clean, free of dirt. And I'm looking at his, how he's dressed to make sure that he can, put a decent outfit together. Clean sneakers, don't look like he been. Now, if I met him in a circumstance where he was running a mile, then I would expect the shoes to look like he was running a mile. But if I meet you in a nice place, then I expect the sneakers to, play the part. Okay. So that's always been my thing. Haircuts, teeth, and sneakers.
Okay.
They do it for me. I'll probably let a few mud ducks by. If they got a nice haircut. If they got a nice haircut, some nice looking teeth, and some clean sneakers.
They did it for you.
They did it. Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, looks are important, but I like what you said. I mean, for me, if you would ask me this question a couple years ago, or maybe 5, 7, 8, 12 years ago, my answer would be different. So I think now, as I am becoming more mature and I'm in a different place in my life, looks are important, but they're not at the tippy top. So looks are important, but they're not the end all be all. Overall, it's just about knowing that you care enough to take care of yourself, pay attention to the fine detail, your hair, your skin, your teeth, your clothes are clean, things like that.
Now, what I will say is I have a little bit of a, when I think about people's looks, you really don't have any say so over your looks. That's like your mom and dad got together, and you can't change.
Well, your features.
Yeah, your features. You can't change that. So some people might look at somebody and say, "Oh, he look a little weird," but you really ain't have no say so in it. You know what I'm saying? But the package that you were blessed with have you taken care of it? Have you
Right.
have you maintained it well? Have you moisturized, exfoliated? Like,
Right.
what are you doing?
Or you just waking up like this is I'm just serving all this.
yeah, this is the body that I got, and this the one you gonna get.
Right. Are you taking pride in taking care of yourself? I mean, that ties into your looks.
So keep in mind, there are two different things. There are features, and then there's like sex appeal. So features you really can't change.
Right.
But sex appeal you have full control over.
Right. Because you can fine tune some things. You can say, you know what, I'm going to moisturize. I'm going to get me a lineup. I'm going to put some smell good in my beard. You know what I'm saying? I love a man that can smell good.
Yeah.
Like,
Now that smell good. I left that off, but that's number 4 on my list. So
Yeah.
haircut, teeth, sneakers, and smell good. And smell good really is before shoes, but yeah.
So the last part of the question is, how would you rate yourself on the attractive, sexy scale? So how would you rate yourself? So how would I rate myself on the attractive, sexy scale? Well, I mean, I believe there's always room for improvement. I don't think I'm America's Next Top Model, but I think I have some things that can be appreciated. So I take good care of my teeth, my skin, the exercising thing. I'm gonna do better. But I'm holding it together, So we'll go with that. There's always room for improvement. I could probably stand to lose a few pounds, get a little bit more sleep, and but I would say I rate myself maybe a 7. I'll go with a 7. There's room for improvement. I got my 40s. Hopefully I can improve.
Yeah. So I'm already in my 40s.
She made it.
So, but I would say for the total package of things, I mean, I appeal to a certain audience. That's what I like to say. So you got to like short hair, or you got to be able to like a woman that switch it up. Like, cause it could be long hair, short hair, no hair. Like, you got to know what you're dealing with here. So if you don't like the short hair girls, that you probably going to ding me for that. And if you don't like a woman with a little meat on her bones in all the right places, I got, hips and thighs, but I also got, a little bit of stomach, because we talking about a few kids, and I got a little bit of back fat, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
I want to unbig.
You don't got to tote it around. I do. So.
You just say you don't got to tote it around. I do.
Yeah. So
but that's with the look factor. But I feel like with my smarts, my wit, my sense of humor, my down to earthness, I feel like, as far as looks, I might be hitting the 7 scale, right? But when you add all the other things about my personality and how much fun I think I am, I would say I'm a strong 9.5, and then I got the rest of my life to get up to 10.
Right.
That's how I feel anyway. That's how I should feel about myself,
Right, and I feel like I'm a 7.5 or so if you like a compact woman who is fluffy. And
girl, you are not fluffy.
Yes, if you like a compact woman who's fluffy, then I'm your girl, and you probably give me an 8.5, 8.5. I'm giving myself a 7.5. You probably give me an 8.5. But like Delina said, there are other things that that play into it. My level-headedness, my ability to communicate.
And Tina got a good sense of humor, like a real good sense of humor,
and hygiene and things like that. So Delina said she's worked on her teeth. I'm on my second set of braces because I still felt like I needed work to get done. I could afford to go to the gym as well. So, hey, if my man want to show up and take part in this working out, we can work out, and then we can work out, and we can work out some more. If you're not eating pork and you're drinking your water and not soda.
Right, because you don't want that pork swell up on you.
Have gout.
That gout.
So, but definitely, attractiveness is, that is a thing. Because like Delina said, when I look at you, I want to say, ooh, okay.
Right. I want to be like, okay, I can appreciate.
I see what the girls want.
Right.
But he's mine.
Right. Back up. But see, that's what I'm saying. But you need him to say, back up. Because they might still come forward.
Yeah.
And if they like you, they not going to take the fact like, oh, I got somebody. You gonna be like, you gonna be like, well, I just want to come over and let you know why I came off my square, and God did a good deed with the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
So,
that's a compliment.
Oh,
But I have a good girlfriend, and she always says she don't want her man too fine.
Okay.
And I think that's so, like, every time she says,
Fine man come with fine problems.
listen, that whole steady jocking.
Yeah,
Steady
but they always, they would try it.
Oh yeah,
It don't
yeah,
matter.
yeah. I mean, I can admire, I can, appreciate a fine man, but I'm okay with, all the other things playing a part in it.
I'm okay with being the fine one in a relationship. I mean,
Yeah.
I need to look over and be like, you do it for me, but I'm okay with being the fine one.
And I need you to look at me and say, okay, that's my girl. And yeah.
Even though I got this roll hanging out on the side, I still want you to be like, that's my baby.
All the back fat.
Yeah.
She belongs to me.
Yeah. Just put the back fat on his forehead. They like it.
Don't nobody want no hard body. They like
Right.
softness.
Right. We'll go with that.
That's what I tell myself.
Hey. Well, thank you for joining us for this week's Pop of Perspective. Please send your questions and DMs. We'll answer it. You never know in the next one. But before we leave you, minimize the screen. Go over, hit that like, follow button, share if you care, and we'll see you next week on Sheer Motivation Podcast.
All righty. Have a great week, guys.